Did you know that Minas Gerais has more roads than many entire countries? There are more than 28,000 kilometers of state highways, but a significant portion of these roads is worn out, abandoned, and in some cases practically impassable. So far, the state government has launched the largest road infrastructure project in the recent history of Minas. 35 highways will be restored or completely paved. There are more than 1,300 kilometers of new asphalt connecting tourist regions, agricultural routes, and cities that have been waiting for this kind of attention for years. The investment exceeds 1.5 billion reais, and the impact of this goes beyond just maps. They will affect your wallet, your schedule, and your life. But how will this impact you? Will it make your trips easier, reduce transportation costs, or is it just another project promised in a pre-election year? This is Construction Time. I'm Luciano Guimarães, and in this video, you'll learn about the largest road infrastructure project that will revolutionize Minas Gerais, called Infraturismo. Minas is the way. The Road Infrastructure Revitalization Project in Minas covers all regions of the state, more precisely from the south of the territory to the Jequitinhonha Valley in the northeast of Minas. It's worth noting that the project will include strategic areas such as Serra do Cipó, the Diamond Path, and the Monte Verde Tourist Hub. In total, 35 state highways will benefit. The initiative covers more than 1,300 kilometers of construction, including paving and repairs. The investment exceeds 1.5 billion reais, making this the largest highway package launched in the state in the last 20 years, and one of the largest in the country. Isolated tourist cities such as Cerro, Camanducaia, São João das Missões, and Diamantina will finally gain decent access. And this changes everything for tourism, agribusiness, cargo transportation, education, and health. But the question that remains is why now? Why did this investment come up precisely at this moment? The answer lies in a combination of road collapse, social pressure, and political strategy. And all of this helps to understand the real motivation behind the project. Just like several other Brazilian states, Minas Gerais couldn't stand seeing lives being swallowed by craters on the roads anymore. By the way, this situation is far from being something new. The state highways in Minas Gerais went years without proper maintenance, while tourism, agribusiness, and urban mobility were crying out for help. The Department of Highways of the state of Minas Gerais, known as Departamento de Estradas de Rodagem de Minas Gerais, has a long history of programs to save the roads, including interventions that add up to almost 2,000 kilometers of repairs in the last 2 years, with 142 kilometers of new paving and another 464 kilometers restored just in 2024. But that was still not enough. Money was spent on reconstructions, but the potholes soon came back. Very few tourist sections were taken into account, and drivers remained stuck. And it is in this context that the Minas é o Caminho program emerges, with a unique proposal to restore or pave 35 highways, totaling more than 1,300 kilometers, with an investment of 1.5 billion reais. The focus is on regions forgotten by tourism, among them Caminhos da Mantiqueira, Vale do Jequitinhonha, Minas Gerais 010, Minas Gerais 060, as well as the tourist axis of Camanducaia, Cerro, and Diamantina. According to DRMG, the Conserva-Pró model more than triples regional investments, from 7 million reais per region to up to 24 million reais per year. The goal, of course, is to prevent small damages from turning into dangerous potholes or lost asphalt. This represents more than just resurfacing. It's a game changer in the strategy for Minas Gerais' infrastructure. The government wants to turn roads into corridors for tourism, agricultural transport, safe routes for life, and economic development. But above all, to deliver concrete results. Music. You know the saying, "Stop covering the sun with a sieve"? It might have a direct connection with Minas Gerais. The state is tired of just patching potholes. It wants to build shortcuts to the future, and that's what the Infraturismo Minas El Camino program proposes. Real results, not just a makeover on the highways. For this, the DRMG adopted the Conserva-Pró model, which shifts from corrective maintenance, meaning just patching potholes, to a preventive and continuous approach. Regular inspections, mowing, base reconstruction, milling, and signage, all of that is included, even before the asphalt gives way again. Since March 2024, Conserva-Pró has already been active in 14 out of the 40 regions of DRMG. The change shows that management is evolving, moving from emergency contracts to long-term contracts with clear goals and measurable deliverables. It's important to highlight that the program covers two main fronts: functional recovery of existing highways with removal of undulations and restoration of the base in up to 50% of the areas, and complete paving with full resurfacing in priority sections. Of the 35 highways included in the project, 20 will be fully paved with new layers of subbase, base, and sebuque, a formula that uses modified bitumen, a material with greater adhesion and durability than regular asphalt. These techniques are not chosen by chance. Applications of machine-mixed sebuque with the addition of polymers increase resistance to wear and reduce the need for frequent repairs. Ideal for tourist regions and areas that face a high volume of rain, the support infrastructure has also been reinforced. Concrete culverts and steel pipes ensure efficient drainage, which is essential to keep the asphalt in good condition during the harsh winter. In fact, techniques using rubberized asphalt and preventive milling used in the program are pointed out by DRMG as being able to extend the pavement's lifespan compared to conventional methods. In addition, the signage was completely renewed, including the installation of reflective signs in tourist areas and more urban stretches, like the Minas Gerais 424, where the intervention has already begun. More than that, there is the use of modern tools, such as building information modeling, and the Syncor Minas Gerais system, which monitors in real time the progress of the works, executed volumes, and quality data, a measure that brings more transparency and efficiency to the government and to society. You can see this technical effort by sections along the Minas Gerais 010 corridor, Serra do Chapéu, between Vespasian, and the work is already progressing on Minas Gerais 060. The section between Esmeraldas and São José da Varginha, with 31.7 kilometers, continues with complete paving. In Papagaios, the construction of the bridge over the Paraopeba has already been contracted, strengthening the connection between Papagaios and Iaúma, which is also responsible for regional logistics. The schedule, according to official data, calls for immediate start of the works, with delivery of the first sections by the end of 2025 and total completion expected by the end of 2026. As part of the expanded effort of the Caminos para Avançar program, DRMG has restored about 3,500 kilometers of highways, with investments of $4.5 billion since 2024, a clear indication that the government is taking road infrastructure seriously in this regard. To support this massive operation, a fleet of heavy equipment was mobilized, including mobile asphalt plants, rollers, compactors, motor graders, excavators, and levelers, along with local teams supervised digitally. This combination allows for standardization, quality, and agility. The contracts include reward mechanisms for design or penalties in case of failure, optimizing public resources, and reducing future repair costs. In summary, Minas is the way forward. It's not just a package of construction projects, it's a revolution in the management of the state's highways. After all, the project combines technical expertise, sensitivity to the tourism context, field operability, and modern oversight. But building 1,300 kilometers across 47 municipalities requires more than just heavy machinery. Strict management, daily monitoring, and tackling risks such as contract amendments, deviations, or missed deadlines are necessary. Now that you understand how this mega construction is being carried out on the roads of Minas, here comes the question everyone wants to ask. How does this project compare to other similar works in Brazil and around the world? Is Minas really ahead or just trying to catch up after decades of delay? Imagine recovering and paving 1,300 kilometers of road in a mountainous state, cut by mountain ranges, valleys, and tourist regions. Now imagine doing that with an average budget of only 1.15 million reais per kilometer. That's what the Infraturismo Minas program is putting into practice. 1.5 billion in investments in 47 municipalities, connecting historically forgotten regions with a distributed economical engineering strategy. And for comparison, the Growth Acceleration Program, the federal government's Growth Acceleration Program, allocated $24 billion between 2011 and 2024 just for the land transport sector, including highways and railways. Half of that amount was actually applied to road construction projects, with 5,200 kilometers delivered or underway. At the average exchange rate of the time, about 2 reais and 20 cents per dollar. This represents approximately 26.4 billion reais invested in highways. The average cost per kilometer, therefore, was around 5,070,000 reais per kilometer, more than 4 times higher than the estimated cost per kilometer of the project. Minas is the way. This data shows an important contrast. While the Growth Acceleration Program prioritized major logistics corridors and duplication works, the Minas Gerais project focuses on secondary highways, regional tourism, and agricultural outflow, adopting leaner solutions, but with technical efficiency and territorial focus. By the way, the cost per kilometer in Minas is the way to go. It also proves to be more competitive when compared to state projects, like the Rodoanel Norte in São Paulo, where the average exceeded 10 million reais per kilometer in dense urban areas. In other words, the math is clear. Minas is doing more with less music. What's the point of having stunning landscapes if getting to them is a challenge? Minas has mountains, rivers, waterfalls, historic cities, but for a long time it suffered and still suffers from poor roads, which kept tourists away and made travel more expensive. The Infraturismo Minas is the way program promises to change this situation. The state is betting on an era of accessible, safe, and economically strategic tourism. Today, 78% of visitors arrive in Minas by road. In 2024, there were more than 32 million tourists driving a chain that includes inns and traditional restaurants. Destinations like Serra do Cipó Park, Diamantina, Monte Verde, and Caparaó National Park will start receiving visitors with more comfort and more frequency. This boosts local economies. It adds value to circuits like Estrada Real and Caminhos da Mantiqueira, and it generated more than 20,000 new jobs in the sector. Just in 2024, according to Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics and Secult Minas Gerais. In fact, Minas doesn't just want to attract tourists, it wants to make them come back. If delivered as promised, it could become a national reference in smart, decentralized infrastructure with a direct impact on people's lives. Thank you for watching this video until the end. What do you think about this big project in Minas Gerais? It would be interesting if it were replicated in other states here in Brazil, wouldn't it? So leave your opinion in the comments. Which state do you think would be interesting to apply this same project to? I'll stop here. A big hug and see you in the next video.